Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. In this week's news, a former NOTA employee faces criminal charges, an Oxford resident wins another honor, and a local resident donates land for an Oxford park.
Stay tuned, learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. "35-year-old Andrea Versick was arraigned last Thursday on criminal charges of embezzling nearly $9,000 from NOTA Transportation Services. The 10-year NOTA employee is an Oxford High School graduate charged with using a NOTA gas card not assigned to any NOTA vehicles over 300 times. According to NOTA Director Lynn Gustafson, while auditing the fuel card charges she discovered, one card was unaccounted for, yet computer records showed it had been used multiple times outside of the normal use of NOTA. Immediately, they canceled the card and an internal investigation began, which led to Versick, who was immediately placed on suspension. During the investigation, police were able to locate surveillance video of a local gas station showing Versick using the card on her personal vehicle, which led to the charges against Versick, which could include up to 5 years in prison and $10,000 fine. She was released on a $20,000 personal bond and is scheduled to appear in court on May 8th for probable cause.
The public turned out in droves to a Village Planning Commission public hearing for a rezoning section of Denison, Hovey, and Hudson Streets. Residents opposed to the plan to rezone the two properties designated to accommodate the tearing down of two homes, making way for 3 stories of a 21-unit multiple family building. After interviewing a multitude of discouraged residents, Village Planning Commissioners voted 6-0 to not recommend the plan to the Village Council.
A quarter-acre parcel on Powell Street, just east of Laux Street, was recently donated to the village by Lake Orion resident Mary Quinn, who expressed an interest in having the land dedicated as a park for the Pollyann Trail. According to Pollyann Trail manager Linda Moran, the property will be a good fit as it sits next to the trail and would be a good resting place for trail users. Vice President of Industrial Machine Products Dave Navarro already has offered to donate park benches and picnic tables to be used at the new park.
In order to increase speed and security of an outdated computer system, Addison Township trustees approved $15,000 for a new computer server. Low bidder IT Right received the contract, which will include an increased range of service signal. According to IT Right, Addison Township residents should see no interruption in service to their business.
The Pollyann Trail Council is considering asking residents and businesses to sponsor trash cans on the trail. Commercial grade cans, which trail manager Linda Moran says is the most practical grade on the trail due to theft and vandalism, cost over $400 each. Moran said the industrial type cans are more durable, and she would be able to bolt them in a place to secure them so they'll stay put. Altogether, the trail could use about 15 anchored cans. Each can will have a plaque with the name of the sponsor embedded on it. Those who are interested in donating money towards the purchase or being a sponsor, contact Linda Moran at 248-981-1242.
Editor of the Oxford Leader newspaper, C.J. Carnacchio, was recently given 2 more awards for excellence in journalism. They were presented by the Detroit chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists. Judges granted Carnacchio first place in writing for his editorial column, My Way, and he also earned a second place for a column he wrote called Hate the Tax, but Support Our Schools. In accepting the awards, Carnacchio praised the support of his wife Connie and the Sherman family, owners of the Oxford Leader newspaper. That isn't the first time Carnacchio had such an honor. The 41-year-old journalist has been recognized and awarded more than 90 times in his career at the Leader. Congratulations, CJ, from all of us at OCTV.
Erica Cogswell, who is a fifth-year student at Oxford School's Early College OSEC program, has a passion for helping our military veterans and has made it her desire to raise money in support of a Detroit nonprofit organization called Come Home. The organization is currently in the process of creating an emergency fund which will be used to assist veterans in immediate financial distress. The organization needs help, and Erica heard their call. After hosting multiple fundraising events, Erica has generated over $1,000 for the charity. Great job, Erica Cogswell from Oxford.
Oakland County Sheriff deputies arrived at a Seymour Lake Road home on a complaint of vandalism to a vehicle. Deputies found the driver's side window on a man's 2014 Chevy Cruze completely smashed out. Officers found a metal pipe lying on the floor of the vehicle, and the man could not provide a suspect. For purposes of insurance, a report was given to the victim, but I want to warn everybody, tis the season. Be careful with your cars out there. That's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, you know what to do. Go to your local store and pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper. Better yet, you can watch us right here at OCTV Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99.
And coming up next on OCTV, Cody Wright with your Oxford Sports. Then catch Oxford School News with John Ochins, and you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles, and this is Oxford News This Week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Canine Stray Rescue does just that. Rescue stray dogs for new families. But they need your help. Become a volunteer at Canine Stray Rescue League of Michigan. Take dogs for walks, help them socialize with others, and help them get adopted. Fill out an application and help a family add a new member today.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, call it the Big Chill. Lasers have brought a 3-atom molecule to within 1,000th of a Kelvin of absolute zero for the first time. Physicists have long been cooling atoms with lasers, zapping them to slow their vibration. The trick relies on matching the laser energy to the gap between two of the atom's energy levels, which is much harder with molecules as their energies are more complex. Now, Ivan Kashirev and his team at MIT Harvard Center for Ultra-Cold Atoms have finally managed the feat with strontium monohydroxide molecules. Such cooling could form the basis for future molecular quantum computers, he says. Wow. In our next story, could fasting boost your brain power? A stomach hormone that stimulates appetite seems to promote the growth of new brain cells and protect them from the effects of aging, and may explain why some people say that fasting makes them feel mentally sharper. When ghrelin was first discovered, it became known as the hunger hormone. It is made by the stomach when it gets empty, and whenever we go a few hours without food, its blood level rises. But there is also evidence that ghrelin can enhance cognition. Animals that have reduced calorie diets have better mental abilities, and ghrelin might be part of the reason why. Injecting the hormone into mice improves their performance in learning and memory tests and seems to boost the number of neuron connections in their brain. Now, Geoffrey Davies at Swansea University in the UK and his team have found further evidence that ghrelin can stimulate brain cells and divide and multiply, a process called neurogenesis. When they added the hormone to a mouse brain cells grown in a dish, it switched on the gene known to trigger neurogenesis called fibroblast growth factor. If the same effect happens in animals, this could be how ghrelin exerts its effects on memory, says Davies, whose work was presented at the British Neuroscience Association conference this month. Young brain cells are thought to enhance the ability to form new memories. This is because they are more excitable, so are more likely to be activated by new environments. Those neurons will fire more easily than old ones, and they set in play a new memory, says Davies. The work may also have implications for treating neurodegenerative conditions such as Parkinson's disease, which is caused by a loss of a type of brain cell. In further experiments, Davies' team found that ghrelin protects brain cells in a dish from dying when they are encouraged to mimic Parkinson's disease. And Davies' colleagues Amanda Hornsby found that in a study of 28 volunteers, people with Parkinson's dementia, cognitive impairment caused by Parkinson's disease, have lower levels of ghrelin in their blood than people who don't have the condition. This suggests that ghrelin or other chemicals that act in the same way could be used as a treatment for Parkinson's dementia, says Hornsby. In people going on a permanent diet of about 25% fewer calories than normal, daily recommended amount has several benefits to health, such as better control of blood sugar levels. Some who try it have said it also improves their cognitive abilities, although this is controversial. Some studies have actually suggested that it impairs people's mental abilities. In an effort to harness some of the health benefits of a calorie-restricted diet, some people are turning to intermittent fasting. It's likely, for example, that the 5-2 diet, where people eat normally for 5 days but stick to around 500 calories a day for the other 2, raises ghrelin levels. But Nicholas Kuneff at the Technical University of Munich, Germany, points out that new brain cells take a few days to weeks to get working, so people shouldn't expect fasting to produce immediate effects on their brain power in this way. Forget that for studying. Well, that's an interesting story. And the next one is a joint American-European trek to Europa could be the first to directly seek signs of alien life on Jupiter's moon. Called the Joint Europa Mission, the plan was unveiled on April 24th at the annual European Geosciences Union meeting in Vienna. The proposal would involve NASA and the European Space Agency joining forces to execute the mission, which could launch in the mid-2020s. Europa is thought to be a potential cauldron for life because of an ocean where it could evolve is believed to set beneath its icy surface. The mission would include a lander spending 35 days on the moon's surface to sample and screen material for traces of life, an orbiter spending 3 months taking measurements to unravel the basic structure of the planet, and the orbiter crashing into the moon, gathering data on Europa's tenuous atmosphere on the way down. Wow. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcat School Update. 6 lucky kids at Oxford Elementary now have a new bike. It's all about reading. Here's Principal Jeff Brown.
What we do is every year for March's Reading Month, we have students do reading logs every week. This year, with the help of the Masons, we were able to offer 6 bikes as a raffle prize at the end of that whole month. We also do classroom prizes where students get extra gym time and they get to go play in the gym with me, and that's a pretty nice incentive too, but the bikes were a tremendous incentive. For the classes that won, most of them read about 6,000 or 100 hours over the course of the week. Most of our classes have about 26 kids, so we're talking 3 or 4 hours per child per week's worth of reading, which is a fantastic incentive. This is the second year that the Masons have been helping us with our bikes, and we've noticed a nice boost in the reading minutes for the kids.
Fred Clack is from the Oxford Masonic Lodge.
Anyway, we developed a program, our Grand Lodge in Lansing. They work out of the main part of the Michigan, up in Alma actually. Started a program called Bikes for Books, and it encourages kids to read, because we've noticed there's been a lot of people not reading anymore. They're more interested in playing video games and things like that. So to get the kids reading, we decided that for every book that they would read, they'd get a ticket towards a lottery drawing, and that ticket would go in a barrel, and at the end of however many period of time, the month or 2 months, however long the school denotes, then they would get the tickets, and they would put them in a barrel, draw out a ticket, and the winner would have a bike. And we supply the bikes free of charge to the kids through donations to the lodge and through fundraisers that the lodge and the Masons do.
The proud new bicycle owners are Isabel Lay, Raylan Knotts, Esmeralda Coronado, Damian Carpenter, Cameron Bukovitz, and Isaac Hughes. If it's springtime, it's 5th grade exhibition time. Stephanie Nemi is the IB coordinator over at Clear Lake. She tells us what's different.
And we're spanning it over several units of inquiry. Instead of it usually just taking place within one unit and then having that exhibition night at the end of the unit, we're starting it in January with who we are, and then they're stretching it across sharing the planet, and then finally how we express ourselves is the last unit of the year, where the kids will take those different skills that they learn from their teachers about different forms of expression to then create their presentation for exhibition night. So we're really hoping to see a different kind of product that hopefully will also make the process a little bit differently for those kids. So we will have exhibition. It's the last week of school. It's Wednesday, June 14th.
One of the teams over at OES included Nate Cruz, Caddy Morris, and Zach Fearley. Their subject is poaching. I asked them why.
Well, I care really deeply about animals, and I really love animals.
Well, poaching, I've heard a lot about it, and not many people really care about it in the world.
And for me, I like animals, and I think it's kind of sad that people are just poaching and killing them just for money.
Another team includes Madison De La Rosa, Sophia Samborski, and Tristan Dean. They chose health issues. They tell us more and why.
Well, overall group was health issues, but my personal thing is expensive healthcare in the U.S.
What's that again?
Expensive healthcare in the U.S.
Expensive health care in the U.S. Okay, very good. So did each of you choose kind of a subtopic within that category? And Sophia, what was yours?
Multiple sclerosis.
Okay, and yours?
Osteoarthritis.
Okay. Any particular reason each of you chose what you chose? Go ahead, Sophia.
My mom has multiple sclerosis and she suffers from it.
Really? And how about you?
Well, my mom needs medicine. I've noticed that it keeps going up in prices.
And how about you?
I chose mine because I watched my grandmother suffer from it.
OES coordinator Rita Flynn says there's an interesting change in mentors this year.
And we need about an average of 60 to 70 mentors, about 10 per class. And we usually have parents from DA, their parents, community members. We've had the fire department come for years. And this year, we decided to ask the leadership class at the high school to come every Tuesday from 11:30 to 12, and they get bussed over here, so all the high schoolers have been their mentors this year.
Wow.
So that's probably like the biggest change, and it's been really powerful because our students are really eager to learn with someone that's in their community that is someone that they would look up to. And this leadership class is really parallel to the things we do here. They're always doing things for their school.
Busy times. That's the Oxford School Update for this week. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
What's up, Wildcat fans? Cody Wright here with the Sports Report. Just going to give you fans a follow-up of what happened this week regarding our sports athletic teams and a few details and statistics. First off, boys baseball hit the diamond against Stony Creek Monday the 24th at home in a doubleheader. The first game started off shaky, Oxford having a tough time at the plate, and although our field and pitching was steady, Stony was able to get in 2 runs on us at the top of the second. Oxford then pulled together, started working the pitches and putting Wildcats on base. The 4th inning was our turning point when we stepped up to bat and brought in 2 runs, tying the game, and later on ended up bringing in a following 2 runs and winning the first game 4-2. The second game was just as back and forth, and both teams regrouped and brought a good game to the spectator. Wildcats coming up on top once again 3-2. Wednesday the 26th, we then headed out to Stony Creek territory to finish the series And both teams played well once again. However, we were not able to finish with more runs. Final score, 2-1. JV boys baseball also took on Stony Creek in 2 matches this week, Monday on the road and Wednesday back at home. Stony Creek was ready for us when we pulled in Monday afternoon and took the win against our Wildcats in a devastatingly 13-2. However, Wildcats got a grip on the opponents, and Wednesday both teams brought in a serious number of runs, Wildcats finishing slightly ahead, 12-11. Thursday, the boys then met up with Brandon High School here at home as well and finished them off with a crushing 19-4 win. Not a bad week at all for boys baseball, and as for the freshmen this week, they were postponed and we will report on those results next week. And boys lacrosse, they tend to have an impressive season, and adding another win to their night at home with Stony Creek, making their season record 7-3. The final score Thursday night was 12-1, both Garrett Stuck and Spencer Petoskey having hat tricks. And of course, a number of other Wildcats made their way on the board. Stony Creek was only able to get 1 goal in on us in the first quarter, and it was the first goal of the game. After that, Wildcats decided enough was enough, and it was a great game to watch. Also, JV played Stony Creek in the game before and also won by a landslide 10-3. Our lacrosse program has had some bright years in the past and has bright years to come, and we know that because of the diversity of age and contribution we see amongst these boys, so we're looking forward to it. And Tuesday, girls softball faced a doubleheader against Rochester. The girls swept Rochester the first game with a 2-0 win, and the second with a 10-4 win. Thursday, our girls faced a doubleheader against North Farmington and once again didn't let up. And first game 12-2, and the second game 11-4, both wins. So 4 games, 4 wins this week for our varsity softball girls. Then you have your JV girls who took on Rochester on Monday at home, who really set the tempo with Wildcat softball this week. The girls took the first game with a final score of 12-1 and also took the second game 11-3. Not only were these games wins, but our girls brought in some serious runs. And last but not least, our varsity girls tennis team took on Lapeer at home on Monday. Lapeer had a good team and our girls struggled on the court but were unable to come out on top. Final score 6-2. The very next day, our girls returned to the court here at home and to take on Avondale and pull things together. Avondale was a good match, but they were unable to take down our Wildcat girls as we took it to them 5-4. Well, that should do it for this week's events. Don't forget to take advantage of this beautiful weather and these loaded sports schedules. Head up to Oxford High School to root on your athletes. You can get all the info needed and more to make these games at oxfordathletics.org. Plenty of scores, schedules, and even some rosters are posted there. Again, that's oxfordathletics.org. While you're at it, go check us out online at occtv.org. We post our sports coverage on our YouTube page, which can be accessed on the website, and there's also many other programs all posted there. Again, that's occtv.org. Also, for the sports coverage can be caught on your local channel on Saturdays and Sundays between 1 and 6, so don't forget, folks, that's occtv.org. And that should finish this week's sports report. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll hope to see you next week. I'm Cody Wright. We'll see you soon.
Welcome to American Legion in Oxford for the best fish on Fridays. That's right, from noon to 8:30. You can get the best walleye in Michigan. You can get walleye, baked cod, chicken strips, baked potatoes, and more. On the hall side of the Legion, oh, hello there, friends. You can have 12 friends on a table, any one of the best military museums in Michigan. And the dining side, oh, hello again. More comfortable with many 4-seat tables and a couple of 5-seaters. Now on Friday we usually have about 400 to 500 of best friends for our fish. Carry out? You bet. We have 50 to 60 carryouts at the post. We have some young friends with the birthdays and some of our best seniors at the post. Oh yeah, waitresses, they go like a track waitress to get your food. If you have never enjoyed our secret's famous walleye at the Legion, come on in every Friday from noon to 8:30 at the American Legion Post 108 on 130 East Rainer Road, Oxford.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, after almost a decade of research, Google's autonomous car project is close to becoming a real service as it begins testing its vehicles with consumers in the U.S. Now known as Waymo, the Alphabet self-driving car unit is letting residents in Phoenix sign up to use its vehicles in a self-driving car ride service. It's a major step forward towards commercializing a technology that could one day upend transportation. For the service, Waymo is adding 500 customized Chrysler Pacifica minivans to its fleet. Waymo has already tested these vehicles plus other makes and models on public roads, but only with its employees and contractors as testers. By opening the doors to the general public with a larger fleet, the company will get data on how people experience and use self-driving cars and clues on ways to generate revenue from the technology. Waymo was letting people across parts of the Phoenix metropolitan area apply for the service as part of an early rider program. Initial users will be able to book Waymo's minivans using an app, but won't have to pay. The company is signing up hundreds of people with diverse backgrounds and transportation needs. Google is a pioneer in autonomous cars, launching its research program in 2009. After mostly ignoring the project for several years, the auto industry has recently rushed to catch up, pumping billions of dollars into similar technology and engineering talent. A bevy of newcomers has joined too, including some founded by former Waymo engineers, making the field incredibly competitive before anyone has made any money. Uber technology has emerged as a particularly bitter rival for Waymo. Last year, autonomous vehicles run by the ride-hailing giant began picking up paying customers in Pittsburgh. Earlier this year, it started doing the same in Tempe, a town in the eastern part of the Phoenix metro area. Waymo is currently suing Uber over the technology, but it insists its business model will be broader than Uber's. Waymo is still moving cautiously. Chosen users for the Phoenix service will sit in passenger seats, and Waymo will put contractor or employee testers on the driver's seat, although the goal is to remove them eventually. The company has quietly been testing the service with a small handful of Phoenix residents for 2 months. From these trials, Waymo CEO John Krachik noted one behavior trait when no one has to drive. People have a better opportunity to bond and connect inside the vehicle, he said. Well, from Honda says it will invest $124 million to create an aeroacoustic wind tunnel test center in the Transportation Research Center in East Liberty, Ohio. It will include an interchangeable belt system and a 5-belt rolling road system for production vehicles, including Honda and Acura cars and light trucks, and a single wide belt system for high-performance vehicles and race cars. The aeroacoustic wind tunnel design will drive the next generation of wind noise reduction, the statement said, with microphones and cameras used to identify potential exterior or interior noise issues in vehicles. The tunnels can replicate wind speeds up to 192 miles an hour. The test center is expected to break ground late in the summer, but a Honda spokesman couldn't say what size the facility will be. It will have 4 private customer bays for different automakers to test their products. And at Mercedes-Benz S-Class sedan will get a 6-cylinder engine with the introduction of the new S450 in the U.S. this fall. It's part of a new range of engines in the S-Class, which is being re-engineered for the 2018 model year. Mercedes unveiled the 2018 S-Class at the Shanghai Auto Show. The exterior undergoes a nip and tuck that includes a new grille and a redesigned lower bumper section. Inside, Mercedes has added 2 new high-resolution displays that are 12.3 inches long each. The steering wheel has also been redesigned, and Mercedes said the 2018 S-Class will be equipped with the latest autonomous driving technology. The S450 becomes the new base model for the line. It's powered by a 3-liter V6 twin-turbo engine that produces 362 horsepower. The current base model gets a new name for 2018, the S560 as instead of the S550, and will be powered by a smaller V8 with higher output than the outgoing V8. The S560 has a new 4-liter twin-turbo V8 producing 463 horsepower and features cylinder deactivation that shuts down half its cylinders in lighter load driving situations. Mercedes calls it one of the most economical V8 engines in the world and says it consumes 10% less fuel than the predecessor engine. Well, that's all for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
Mañana.